because what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be given an amount, and we're going to split it by a certain ratio. And when we split that amount by a certain ratio, it's going to come out to an equal ratio of the one that I'm given. So let's look at an example. If I say I've got $1,200 and I want it to split that into the ratio of 2 to 3, I have to remember one thing about a ratio, is that 2 to 3, if I were to look at the ratio, if I would say how many total parts were there, it's kind of like a fraction where there are 2 parts for every 3, but there are still 5 total parts. Okay, so there are 5 total parts in this ratio. So one person, one amount, the small amount is going to equal 2 out of the 5, 2/5. 2/5 times 1,200, and I'll get that amount in a minute. And the larger amount, the bigger amount, will be 3/5. 3/5 times 1,200. When you're given that ratio, you're going to use this as 5 total parts. Okay? And you get that from the sum of the two numbers that are in the ratio. So my equal ratio is 2/5 times 1,200. The lesser amount gives me $480, and the bigger amount is 3/5 times 1,200. All right, so we get 3/5 of 1,200 is 720. So that's great. There's my answer. But let's just look at what it means. Is that the ratio of 2 to 3 is equal to the amount 480 to 720. Okay. The difference is 2 to 3 is a ratio, and when I have 2 equal ratios, that's called a proportion. Okay. So I think this is probably the easiest way to do these ratio splits, is to multiply it by this fraction, where that bottom number is the sum of the parts of the ratio. And we'll look at another example. So let's say I want to split a circle, split 360 degrees into the ratio of 1 to 2 to 3. All right. Well, first let's look at the total parts of that ratio. So we got 6 total parts. The smallest one will be 1/6 times 360. I'll figure that out. The medium one will be 2/6 times 360. And the largest angle will be 3/6 times 360. And right now, don't worry too much about simplifying those fractions, because 2/6 is 1/3 and 3/6 is 1/2. Don't worry about simplifying it, because you're multiplying it by an amount anyway. So 1/6 times 30, we get 60 degrees for the smaller angle. 2/6, oh well, I can't just think about this. 2/6, this is why I don't simplify these fractions, because 2/6 is double 1/6. So this angle will just be double 60. That's 120, and you can simplify that on the calculator if you want, or do it all on the calculator if you want to. And 3/6, well, that's just going to be triple this one. Yeah, you can work it out whatever way you want, but if you don't simplify it, it actually makes it easier. Okay, so I got my answer right there: 60 degrees, 120, 180. And if I wanted to write my proportion, 1 to 2 to 3 is the same as 60 to 120 to 180. Okay, that's what it would look like using the counters: 1 to 2 to 3. Okay, so pretty simple stuff.